Well, hello everybody. This is Pam and welcome to Amanda and to all the people who are going to be part of your wedding next month. It's going to be a fabulous day, and I think what's important for us at weddings is we want to look good, and it helps us have confidence to look good. And let me just take my watch off. What I'm going to show you today and lead you through is ways of giving yourself the space in which to look good. Yes, they are treatments, but we mustn't forget how important rituals are for women specifically, that we need to spend time following rituals because it soothes our soul, and if we're feeling good, it shows on our skin. The skin is a huge part of our body, and we need to look after it. Now, what we're going to start with is, in fact, some teas. I've put up a few slides here, can just run through, but you should each have a tea bag, and I gave you the quiet time tea. So if you've got a mug of hot water and you open your tea bag, and this is my last one out of here. Yeah, I did give you the quiet time tea bag. And what this is actually organic and fair wild. So in other words, there are no chemicals used in the making of it. They are harvested in the wild, but made sure that we're not over harvesting, so that we are causing problems with the regeneration of the plants and the ongoing success of the plants. As the Bushmen say from Namibia, where I come from, you've got to leave something for the children. So every time you harvest, you actually leave something for the children. So I'm going to pop my tea bag in there and just let it draw for a bit. We'll be able to get at least another bag out of there when we feel like it. So that's the tea that we're going to sip, and one of the things that is in the quiet time tea, let me just move my notes so that you don't have to see my little arm coming across all the time. One of the things about the quiet time tea is it's chamomile, lavender, but also roses. Roses are surprisingly good for women. It helps balance, it helps calm, but you'll see, because we're going to use a lot of rose products today, both wild rose and roses like the damask rose, to do our facial, and then we're going to do hands as well, so that we've got a few rituals, because hands are going to be on display very much for the bride, that you're going to have photos and things for the hands, and if you can get your skin looking good, that'll be fabulous. So we have a few things, and you should have in front of you. I just want to get my timer started so that I don't go over time, because I can talk. The reason I love the Neal's Yard products, so have a look at your tea so long and see how it's doing, but the reason I love Neal's Yard products is because they do subscribe to things like fair wild, organic, naturally based, also zero carbon. Our factory down south in Dorset is zero carbon footprint. And I love that. You'll see the pictures that are coming past also show that they support the communities. The rose community in Bulgaria, I think it is the same farm they've been using since Neal's Yard started in the 80s. And they have supported it. If you look at the frankincense, which we'll have later, and in fact your take-home bag has frankincense in it, frankincense products in it. The frankincense is from Oman and from Kenya, and in Kenya the women who go and harvest the frankincense have to walk for a day or two, and when they were asked, what do you need from us, they said a well at the place where we harvest. So that Neal's Yard had a well drilled so that when the women are there, because they'll have to stay overnight or so, they will have fresh water. So there's a huge ethical component of supporting things, of paying them a fair wage. No handouts. That's not what Neal's Yard does. And as an ex-African, I think it's really important that we show people the respect to pay them for fair work and give them a future and an opportunity. So that's what Neal's Yard stands for, and that is why I love it. Plus it works. My skin coming from Africa was in a shocking state. I'm now 57, and having lived in Africa for 52 years, it showed on my skin. But Neal's Yard managed to normalize my skin, and I've used it more than I've used other products because it actually works. So let's get started. We're going to do a very simple facial, And let me just see, where are we? This is the facial we're going to do, and it's basically roses. Now you should have got a little square, something like this, in your small bag. So you've got a small bag in front of you. It's got this brochure in it, which is fabulous reading, and it tells you all about things, and it shows the two present owners, Kindersley, who in fact also do the books, the Kindersley books, which are wonderful. Now in that bag you will find a little envelope made out of old brochures. And I say old brochures because you will be getting a big brochure to take home, but it's not a completely up-to-date one because we've stopped making the big brochures and we've gone over to brochures, and I've given you my little scanny thing that you can use on your phone to open the big brochure, and you can actually interact with me and with the products. And those papers that are left over are making my little sample envelopes. Now, the inside you'll find a wild balm sample. You got the flat sample. This is just a little tin, but this is what it would look like. There we go. And you've got a white tea toning eye gel. I've actually opened this one. And you have a little tub that I decanted for you, the Rehydrating Rose Facial Polish. Now those three items are what we're going to use for a facial that will rejuvenate, cleanse, but also give you a lot of moisture to plump up the skin and hydrate you beautifully. Now there are two conditions I want to mention. The one is the celiac thing, and the other one is the rosacea. Now if you have either of those, the rosacea can be tricky, but people, I had a look online to see what the other consultants were saying. Many people enjoy the wild rose balm because it is so soothing and nourishing and hydrating, but it's simple. However, some people don't like essential oils. So what I would like is, and I'm sorry I can't remember the name of the person, send me a note, or I'll send you a note, and I'll send you some samples of our range of sensitive, which doesn't have essential oils in it. However, I would test these on other portions of my skin and see how they feel. You know your skin and you know how you react, but you also know where you are because it can fluctuate. Many people who've got rosacea wrote and said they used not only the wild rose balm, but they also used our little Rehydrating Rose facial polish successfully. So that's quite interesting, but I'm going to leave it to you to know what you want to do. For the no gluten, most of our products don't have gluten. If it says oats, don't use it. I haven't sent you any today. The only one we'll see when we get to the hands is I gave you, and I'll tell you when I get there, one has got wheat germ in it. I'll tell you which one's got wheat germ, and I've sent an alternative. Otherwise, as far as I know, we have nothing. But what I would urge you to do, follow my little QR code, that's the word for it, and you'll get the big brochure which you can page through. You can also click on that page and go to the product, and we talk about what it is, but we mention the ingredients clearly. And you'll be able to check in there to see if there is any gluten. But we actually use very little gluten. We use what's called the Cautionary Principle. If it could possibly maybe cause problems, we leave it out on the whole. So for instance, we never used plastic in our scrub. We use the wild rose, and here is the wild rose. There we go. That looks horrible, but the wild rose, the seeds can be crushed down, and we use the crushed seed for the little scrub. And in fact, we call it a polish, not even a scrub, because it's so gentle. So we have with us, ladies, a bowl of warm water, and we have our wild rose. You've got the sachet, and what we do start with, and you've got in your bag, is a Neal's Yard hair thing to get your hair out of your face. And I'm going to have to take my glasses off, so not seeing so well now, but I think I'm all set up. So we're going to get our hair out of the way. We're going to dampen our fingers and use just 1/4 of your sachet of wild rose balm. So if you could get your hair back, have a little sip of your tea maybe. And I must say, I quite like the teas. They're really nice. So I just want to get my glasses on to set my next one up for there we go, transition, so that all those other things are out of the way and you can see what I'm doing. So here's out of my face. I've got my Wild Rose Beauty Balm. I've got my little bit of water, and I'm going to use, I did send you 2 cotton wool. I tend to use reusable pads that I made for myself. So dampen your face or your fingers a little and take a smidge, a quarter of the, and that is plenty. Mine's harder than yours because mine's in a little tub, but take it, rub it between your fingers and onto your face with your dampened fingers. If you need a bit more water, do use it. And inhale the scents. Now, this is a product that is what we call one of our heritage products. And you're going to be cleansing with it. It's got beeswax and I'll have to read I've got to put my glasses back on to see what's in it, but it's mainly rose, plus a few other things that are very calming on the skin, but they hydrate well without having to, in fact, no chemicals. But some of our products have got hyaluronic acid in them, not this one. And again, for rosacea, I wouldn't use the hyaluronic acid. Many people find it a problem. So what we're doing is we're giving ourselves a first cleanse, and we're going to do a double cleanse by using the scrub. But what's nice is a double cleanse. One, the massaging, the cleansing of the built up dirt, and we all get it. And then a little scrub really refreshes your skin. And it's worth doing as a little facial routine once or twice a week. So get yourself all nice and cleansed, especially around the nose, the cheeks, the chin, the jawline. And don't forget, you drain your lymph, which takes away all of these particles, down to here. So as you can see, I'm dipping in the whole time, because it's not about using more product, it's about letting the product go where it needs to go. Down, so you just get it all going, and down, down, down. So I take your first bit of cotton wool and wipe this off your face. We have avoided the eye area, ladies, because the eye area absorbs far more than anywhere else. And this Wild Rose Balm, fabulous, but very heavy for your eyes. I wouldn't use this on my eyes. Neal's Yard does do a makeup remover, which I love. And there are some cleansers I would use on the eye. For instance, I use a non-water-based cleanser. Straight onto my little pad, cleanse my face with it, and I use it everywhere. It's part of the sensitive range, and I just love it. I'm quite lazy at night, so I love standing in one spot, cleansing my face with my pad, using the toner, serum or oil on, cream on, eye oil, or not eye oil, eye ointment on, and I'm done. So, cleanse number 1 done. You should feel nice and fresh. Now you're going to take your tin. I've got the original tube, and you really only need about that much. So I didn't send a lot, but I'm only suggesting you use a bit. And if you can see, you'll see that there are little dark bits in it. So again, dampen your fingers, rub it between your fingers, and start gently. Now, a scrub, or as we call this one, a polish, is not about rubbing the surface of your skin. It is more about rubbing it across the surface of your skin so that the little granules can do their work. These are rose hip granules, and they do wonderful work, and I hope you can feel it. I can already feel, as I'm putting it on, that it's going onto a much cleaner surface. So I've got a little hair in my eye. It's going onto a much cleaner surface, which I'm enjoying. Now, the reason we do a polish is to get rid of the build-up of dead skin cells. We slough off a whole lot of skin cells. I'm going to tell you all these details because I was a junior nurse for 30 years. So I was a registered nurse in South Africa and Namibia. So I believe in empowering people to know what's going on with themselves. So you would slough off your dead skin cells, one, to allow your new skin to develop, and they will develop the more you slough off. That's why resurfacing and many of the more aggressive techniques for skin actually works, because it encourages your skin to rejuvenate and send out the new cells. But even if they are not sending out new cells, we are able to see the new cells because we've taken off this covering of skin cells. So we are doing a gentle polish of our skin. And again, smell this, and you might be able to smell the difference between the wild rose balm that we used and this rose. Very different roses, but both from the rose family. And you need to be spending at least a full minute on this. You might be thinking, gee, how long is she going over it? A full minute. Now, at this point, we're going to use the face cloth. Muslins are quite nice because the little wide weave allows you to pick up all the granules. So dampen this, squeeze it out well, okay? And then you're going to be putting it over your face and wiping gently, avoiding the eye area because you don't want granules in that area, but also because we don't want the scrub to damage that delicate eye area. Again, I tend to wipe towards where the lymph drainage happens because that's really going to help take away puffiness and help cleanse. All right, so I'm going to give it another little wipe. Using a face cloth rather than cotton wool definitely helps with getting rid of this. It can be difficult to get rid of, but I found when I used only a small amount of the product, which is all you need, it was easier. I used to be overly generous, and I've learned with Neil's Yard you really don't need to. Less is more. Okay, so that is my face cloth done. I'm going to take it out just because I want to do that, because we are going to use those bowls later for our hands, because we're going to do our hands in a moment. Now, while our skin is drying, let's just have a sip of our tea. How's your skin feeling? Just have a little feel of it and see how it's doing. And if you can still feel little, which I can feel little granules. I'm just going to go over it again. Try and get all those granules off. It's not the end of the world, but it just feels better. See how your face feels. Mine's feeling actually quite nice and soft. And even though I should be doing this, and I do this quite regularly, I'm always surprised by how great it feels. Now, so we have exfoliated. And I'm just checking my notes. So the point of this is the wild rose seeds, the damask rose oil, milk thistle, and aloe vera combined in this facial polish helps to give you a exfoliating and enriching. So it's for normal and dehydrated skins, which is great. Now, we did use the Wild Rose Beauty Balm because it does cleanse and it has got a very light exfoliation. Not a lot, but a little bit. But its big thing is it's an intensive nourisher. And it takes dull, lackluster skin and turns it into a radiant skin. And I just love it. I use it on so many things. And you should have a little note in your bag which tells you the 10 uses for Wild Rose Beauty Balm, which is why I love my little tin. This one I got as a little treat. You can buy a small glass jar, which also you can carry around 15 grams. I like the tin because I'm always dropping it. So I much prefer the tin. So I've got something I'm leaning on here. And this is my go-to. I absolutely love it. So this one is also antioxidant, and the antioxidants are needed because when we oxidize, like fruit when it's sitting out, like half an apple, that dark brown development that occurs is actually oxidization. We want antioxidants to stop that whole process so that we sort of don't rot quietly to ourselves. So what we're going to do now that our skin is probably dry, mine's dried in the meantime, glass is off again. I'm going to take about, you used a quarter, now take another half. And we're going to massage it into our skins. I again use it on my fingers because it warms it. Allows me to inhale. Now, the Wild Rose Beauty Balm is not as pleasant smelling as the others. Wild Rose actually doesn't smell that good, like the rose hips don't smell good. The roses, fabulous, absolutely fabulous. And if you look on the table, there should be little jars of lavender and rose petals. Now those roses I in fact got in Portugal. I used to go to the market, and for €7 I buy my vegetables for the week and the roses. Smelled incredible. So I saved those immediately because the roses didn't last. But the rose petals have lasted. Now that was last year. Yeah, about 6 months ago, and they're still smelling good. So put this on, and what you're going to start doing is with the balls of your fingers, start a sort of a massage. Find all your wrinkles, and I must say, massage and wrinkles, fabulous. My wrinkles have decreased a lot because I'm actually massaging. So I've got these lines here. So massage, always out towards your lymph drainage, which is down the side of your face, but massage along underneath your cheekbones to try and get that shape. There you've got high cheekbones, not so much here, instead of that puffy look. Plus your nose, give it quite a good rubbing round the little, what would you call this, the edges of your nostril, okay, the corners of your mouth, some back and forth, okay, and then up and down for those lines that we develop. And you can actually feel the lines, and if you massage often enough, you can feel them diminishing. It's a fabulous feeling. I was very surprised at how much massage did help. But if you think that your skin is made up of collagen and things, that needs to be replenished and assisted. So if we are constantly doing one movement, we're going to get lines from it. So you need to counteract that and feed the skin with the antioxidants, the intense nourishing that you'll find from this. So that's the Wild Rose Balm, and you can probably feel it sitting on your skin, but leave it for that. What we're going to do is we're going to move on to our hands. And I just want to check the time to see where we are. Okay, almost 20 minutes. I want to mention I also gave you these little bits of paper with a pen that should, I didn't mention this, the pen should be on the table. Everyone's got their bit of paper. If you've got any questions, please write them down and I'll be very happy to answer them. So that is the Wild Rose Beauty Balm. Now you can leave this on overnight. You could leave it on for 20 minutes to give yourself a lovely, intense, nourishing treatment. But it's also wonderful for things like heels, for things like that. Now this is actually made in our factory, as I said, down south, Eco Factory, and they use cold pressed rosehip seed oil, which is great. Now, while we're waiting for that to settle, we're going to look at our hands. Hands are often forgotten, and if you drive, you're getting sunburned, and I must say, coming from Africa again, my hands are not in a good condition, but they are improving, and I'm very surprised at how much they are. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to do a sugar and oil scrub, wash it off with the options of our two soaps that I gave you, and then we're going to rub in some of the Be Lovely cream, which is in May is a big thing because of course it's bee month, and we've been practicing the No Mow May, allowing wildflowers to develop, because we need bees in the world, because otherwise there's going to be no food left. So you could refresh your water in your bowls, and I'm going to quickly do that. I brought with me a little thermos, so if you ladies want to just get yourself some warm water, clean warm water, and then while that's happening, we're going to be looking at the products we're going to use. What we're wanting to do is also exfoliate, because we often don't exfoliate our hands, but also our arms. It's worth doing, and a sugar scrub is fabulous. It's a cheap way of doing it. It's sugar and an oil. And I've sent you a nice oil, but you could actually use cooking oil. I actually find olive oil a little too thick. Just your normal seed oil that you cook with. Mix, and it's sugar to oil 2:1. So if you used a teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon. I've used this if anybody has children or knows of people with back acne. Works like a charm. It's an exfoliation, it scrubs, it takes off all the old skin cells and allows the body to breathe. Because a lot of acne is actually related to the skin cells building up, the bacteria getting underneath, and they're being allowed to flourish. So that the dead skin cells create the perfect environment for bacteria to flourish, which is a pimple. So we've got our water. We are going to have sugar, and I hope that you're coming around the table with the, where am I? Aromatic Massage Oil, okay, which is vitamin rich. But the Aromatic Massage Oil has wheat germ in it. So not to be used, please, by anyone with celiac disease. Your Aromatic Massage Oil, I'm just checking my notes here next to me. It's organic sunflower, almond, and wheat germ. Now, wheat germ could potentially have some gluten in it. The fragrances are geranium, lavender, and marjoram, which are absolutely fabulous. Now, let me just see, we're there. Good. So, there we go. The geranium is surprisingly wonderful. Now, what I would suggest, because I'm thinking, hang on, if that's a massage oil that's got wheat germ, either use some other oil, or what you can do, I've got 2 soaps there. One is the Aromatic Shower Soap, and the other one is the Harmonize Body and Mind, which is the Woman's Balance Shower Gel. Use a bit of that with the sugar. That will also do the same thing. And you're giving yourself a good wash, all right? And I'll send a note to make sure that we know that in advance, that it's the Aromatic Massage Oil that has the gluten in it. All right, so the aromatic things, you've both got the Aromatic Shower and you've got the Aromatic Massage Oil. Fabulous essential oils in there, the geranium and lavender, which are so balancing and relaxing. You massage into your hands into a soft lather. Now, the woman's balance, which we can use later, we'll look at. But what I want us to do right now is some sugar, half the quantity of oil, and I'm reusing my little bottles. I love my little blue bottles. The reason we use blue bottles is it preserves the essential oils and oil, so we don't have to use preservatives. It's taking a little while to come out, and in fact, because I didn't label my bottle, I think this is actually a soap, which is going to be then using what I'm suggesting we use instead of the oil. So just make a paste, not too thick because you're going to struggle with it, but here I've made a paste out of the soap and the sugar. And what I'm going to do is put, you don't even need a teaspoon, but a teaspoon or less onto your hands. And I've sent you brown sugar because I do prefer a brown sugar. And what you're going to do is, it's as though you're washing your hands. Gently allow the scrub to happen by itself. Very refreshing. Always when you're using Neil's yarn, inhale. And even if there isn't much of a smell, it's a refreshing, it allows your body to just calm down, which is part of the ritual that we women should be practicing regularly. So what I do at night is I sit in front of the TV with my box of things, and I just allow myself to go through the process of sitting quietly and allowing it to happen. Now, I have, it's hardly a problem, but my cuticles can stick to our nails. So what I do is I just give it a little rub, a little more upward, in circles, but a little more upward to allow this to go through. And it's also important to rub between the fingers, because while you're squeezing your fingers, you actually are touching many of the pressure points, which will help you to relax. So now, if your water's not too hot, and I'm going to put a bit of cold in mine, you're going to rinse your hands. Get the sugar off. Yep, so I've used a soap and it works perfectly. The oil is fabulous because it is so nourishing, but if you can't use that specific oil, and wheat germ is a common oil that is put into things, but as I said, it's only the oat and the wheat germ that I saw that has gluten in it. And I know many people who can't have gluten say Neil's Yard hasn't been a problem as long as you avoid the obvious one that says oat on it. All right, so there I've cleaned my hands, and I'm going to use my little hand towel to dry, just pat it dry. And when I look at my hands already, what is surprising is my little brown marks are disappearing. And you think, how can they disappear? But that sun damage is just also a build-up of skin. And if you really want to go the whole hog, if you take something like papaya, which eats away skin cells, I've squashed it, taken that water, used something like oats. So if you've got celiac disease, don't use the oats, find something else, just to make a paste. Put it on your skin. You could probably use sugar with a drop of water. Well, no, the water comes from the papaya. Put that on your skin, and my goodness, you can see the brown marks disappear. Wonderful stuff. Then you could use something like avocado cream that we eat. It was cream, avocado, honey. There was cream, avocado, honey, and carrot. One cooked carrot mashed. Mix that. A fabulous mask. So, my hands are looking great. I'm now going to take, and I forgot to bring it with me, but the Be Lovely, oh, that was foolish. The Be Lovely cream that I've put on your table is a cream that, as I say, we're promoting now because 3% of sales go towards supporting bee production. And in Africa, we have a project where we are encouraging people to use bees in their fields. And they have found that while there had been a reduction in crop production, putting the bees back, production has increased dramatically, which is wonderful. So again, enabling people, but enabling the world. And that's what I love about Neil's Yard, is that they enable rather than just do handouts. Now, what you can do to get the sugar off is wash your hands. You could have done it before or after, it depends how you feel. I sent you the Woman's Balance Foaming Bath. That was in a separate little bottle. This is a wonderful range, and this is very much for women and their connection with themselves. It's about regenerating. This is more of a frankincense smell. But I also sent you let me just see, where am I? I sent you two, so that you had choices. Oh, let me get my pages here. The Aromatic Shower Wash. Neither of them are a problem for celiac, but you can have the Aromatic Shower or the Harmonized Body and Mind with the foaming bath, and then the other one that I didn't bring with me, you've got it. So use either of those to wash your hands. So you shouldn't have put your bowl away. And you've got that there. Fabulous. So we've now done our hands. You're going to be rubbing in the cream, and I'm going to, because I didn't bring my cream because I'm foolish, I'm going to use a little more of mine because I've got so much of the wild rose. So we're going to rub a cream into our hands now because we've prepared the skin. And what I often do is just rub the back of my hands because I need to be typing or working with paper and I don't want my fingers oily. So I do it on the back of my hands and then just on my cuticles. And allow this to sink in. Now, when you are massaging your hands, always back towards your heart. Do each finger and rub. Now, when we were washing and scrubbing, we were doing some massage. Just finish it off nicely. You can also give your fingers a little tug as you're going. All right, push back. And just refresh the fingers. You know, we're often so busy that the fingers don't work on their own. Give them a nice little stretch and wiggle. Then let's do the back of our hands, pushing up along each bone. press this point. Where am I? There we go. Press this point and you'll feel it's actually a little sensitive, a little tender. Push that. Go to the other hand and do the same. And push up on all your little bones going up your hand. Then the palm. If you start pressing on the fleshy pads on the palm of your hand, you'll feel there's some that are quite sensitive. Don't attack them vigorously, but give them a little going over and know that tomorrow you need to do the same, because that is just a muscle that's tender. There could be a buildup of toxin sitting in there. You could have stretched it, and then do the other one. I know phoning, texting, goodness, doesn't do much for your hand. And you need to be working on that, and also be very careful, because all of that texting, if your hand is feeling pain, you've definitely overdone it and you need to find other ways. Don't forget, on the little keyboard you can put in voice and you can dictate what you're saying, and lo and behold you get typing and you don't actually have to do the typing yourself. I find that miraculous. So your wrist, give that a little going over with your thumb, give it a workout. And there we go. Have a little feel of your hands and see how you feel. Mine are smooth. They feel smooth, they feel more flexible, they feel warm. And so many of us women have cold hands. A massage helps miraculously. Hands done, doesn't take that long, but well worth it. And in the run up to the wedding, especially the bride, you're going to have photos of your hand, do some work on it. Do your cuticles, because cuticles allow the nails to grow. So make sure that you're massaging into your cuticles and just pushing them back gently with your fingers or with your towel as you dry yourself after a bath or shower. Fab. Let's come back to the face. Have a feel of your face. Now, it might feel a little oily. Let's just give it a bit of a wipe with our hands. Make sure we don't have any dry patches, so cover any dry patches, because you'll find that your face, some bits absorb more than others. Now, to finish off, we're not going to take it off entirely. You could take your second bit of cotton wool, I'm going to use my other cloth, and just wipe it gently to take off the excess. We're not taking it off. This can now stay on and be our cream for the evening. You could wash your face again tonight, but you could also just leave this on and allow it to absorb. Now, we've only done the face. I normally do all the way down to my décolleté. I think it's called décolleté. Because of the skin damage and the sun damage I've had over the years. Not that I was a big tanner, but being in the sun in Namibia your whole life, this area got damaged. So if you feel your face, it should feel dry, but not horribly dry, just not oily. And we come to our last product that we're going to be using today, which is the white tea eye gel. Now, when you open it, just make sure your samples, you push everything down. You're going to take out only a grain of rice size. That's all you need. Please don't take out more. And you're going to put it on your ring finger. And you're going to touch your ring fingers together. Now, mine might look different because I've got an older sample where I see they've changed the name and might have changed the product. And what you're going to do is you're going to tap along the bone with the ring finger, because this is the correct pressure for putting on this very gentle eye area. And you're going to tap with the product, this little grain of rice shared between the two fingers, along the bone. And just tap. Also gives a massage, and you might feel that your sinuses can feel the effect, because your sinuses are here, here, and here. So just tapping helps your sinuses get moving, and that's always a good thing, because it just cleanses all the pollution in the world. And that is what, in fact, let me put on my little slide, because the eye, let me just show you the, I've shown you that. Oh, the Be Lovely I didn't show you, because that is in Mexico. We have our honey, but we also have, so I'm just going through my slides. We also have, there we go. Let me just get me out of the way. Hang on. Sorry. I'm in the way there. There we go. The Neil's, yeah, sorry. So on the honey, we use the honey, but I think we also use wax from somewhere else. I think Spain it was. So the pollen, there we go. I'm just going to leave that one up a bit. There's the pollen. I knew there was something else. So organic pollen and then the honey from Mexico. So only from one farm. One farm provides all we need. Now, the next one is the eye, which is white tea. And there's a few things in the white tea, but white tea's big thing is the free radicals and getting rid of the pollution damage. And we have a few ranges in it. One thing I love in the white tea range is the facial spray. Just that little spritz. One, to set your makeup if you wear makeup, but also to cool you down. It's wonderful. Now what this specific white tea does is it really tightens up your eyes. So please have a look when you get home and see what are your eyes looking like. Are they feeling a bit firmer and tighter? Because everyone I've ever given it to said, gee whiz, this works. Really tightens up your eye. So let us just look at then what we've done. Now, we've double cleansed the face. We've put on the wild rose again to really do a lot of work on the face while we went to the hands. And my hands are feeling incredibly smooth. And they're looking better. There's the sun damage, the little sunspots, the little liver spots, as they say. I mean, I'm only 57. I shouldn't have them, but there they are. Diminishing. Done a bit of massage on the face, and let me tell you ladies, well worth it. A lot of Instagram reels have wonderful yoga for your face and massage on your face. Works like a charm. So I just look at them and think, oh, I'll try that one or that one. Works. Even here for your little double chin. This is a muscle that has gathered and it's well worth doing. We didn't do it today because we only did the face, but if you're going to do your neck and down your décolleté, well worth doing. We've used good products. So whatever is being absorbed into your skin, and keeping in mind your skin is the biggest organ in your body, it's going to absorb a lot. So make sure it absorbs good stuff only. Now, many of you use Liz Earl, which is fabulous. We've just gone that little bit further in making sure that we benefit all the communities, fair, wild, organic where we can, naturally grown where possible, eco-friendly, zero carbon footprint on our factory, which is incredible. So, simple, not too many products, but what I've given you to take home to continue the process is a few little things. I've given you these sized products. Now, in your bag, you'll see the big brochure, but also a little bag with a ribbon that you can open now or at home, the Rejuvenating Frankincense Cleanser, the Rose Toner. Let me just get my notes out here. Yes, so cleanses and moisturizers. It's a milky wash that you use with water. Now, Rejuvenating Frankincense is fabulous. It works. And you know what's interesting? I thought frankincense might be quite harsh because it sounds like a harsh thing. The smell's very definite, but it's not. It works beautifully on sensitive skins. And when I was doing my research from the other consultants on people with rosacea, some people swear by this, that this works for them. So give this a little try when you're at home, please, on a place where you don't have rosacea and see how you like it. But it's a milky cleanser with water. Apply to a damp skin. Then you've got the Rose Toner. Now this is the old rose water and it's wonderful because it balances, cools and hydrates. Again, should work well on rosacea, but try it on a separate spot. It works on normal skins and dehydrated skin, so almost for anybody. Now what I found is when I came from Africa, why I never found a product I liked was I was very dry here. I would put on a lot of oily products to try and compensate because I was always scratching. I ended up with infections. Neil's Yard, using things like serums and oils, good toners, it's balanced. And yes, definitely I need to focus on my tea, but I don't have the problems I used to have. So you've got a rose toner, and then my absolute favorite product is the Beauty Sleep Concentrate. This works as both an oil or serum and a cream. Many people don't put anything else on but this. So you'll wash, tone, put this on. And this is a selection of things with tripeptides, but quite a few essential oils, and it helps your skin to rejuvenate overnight. It comes from a range of things that we have in the night range to help you sleep better. But not only while to sleep better, but while you're sleeping to rejuvenate. And it's wonderful. Even my partner likes it. He comments on nothing else I do, but that he'll say, "Oh, what have you got in your face?" And he loves it. It's just such a lovely thing. I also put some of the essential oils. Now remember, most of these things also come in essential oils. The beauty sleep or the sleep range of essential oils I put into my little, not steamer, but you know what I mean. And really, I'm a good sleeper. But the sleep quality I got from putting that on for a setting of half an hour was incredible. I woke up really refreshed. So well doing. There's also, you can get a little pillow mist that you can spray on your pillow. Now, there is also another little tin. So I gave you the tin of the rose polish, but there's another tin of the moisturizing SPF. And I see a few of you are using your SPF, which is fabulous. Now this, put on tomorrow morning, please, after you've done your normal face. And you might think, goodness, this is thick. But one, this is a mineral sun filter. In other words, no chemicals. We specialize in not using chemicals, not using preservatives, which is why you'll see our products will only last a year or two. It won't last longer than that. And why we often have sales, because we're getting rid of everything so that it's used in good time. The last thing about times, don't forget that you will see, and I don't know if you can see it there, there is a little open lid that will tell you how long it can stay open for. So this can stay open for 3 months. You've got to use it up in the 3 months. So I open it up in spring, summer, and use it on my face. And it provides, it's quite a thick cream, but it absorbs beautifully. You couldn't believe that something this thick would absorb that well. But it's also a mattifier. So you don't have that oily look. Wonderful for putting makeup on afterwards. It's like a lovely base for makeup. So do your normal process, then put this on. It's an SPF 30, lasts for 12 hours, and it nourishes and protects with the mineral sun filters, but also again the wild rosehip oil, moisturizing shea butter, and baobab oil, which is from my area of the world. So that's what we've got there, and that is what I've given you. One last thing I gave you, a little jar of baby balm. Now, the baby balm, 100% organic, and you might think, why, we're adults, why are you giving it to us? Where you could use the Wild Rose Beauty Balm, if you can't use it because of allergies or because of rosacea or because you're reacting to some of the essential oils, this one is fabulous. I use it on my lips, I use it on my hands, use it on my heels. It is a wonderful balm which works well. And again, it's a little jar, about the same size as the small 15-gram Wild Rose Balm. You can use it for anything. It's got shea butter, sunflower oil, coconut oil, and botanical oils. That's it. It's allergy certified, it's organic, and babies bigger than 3 kilograms can use it. So fine for us. So that is what I have given you to take home and to use. And I hope that you've enjoyed the smells, the aromas, where's my tea, the feel of the Neal's Yard products, but also knowing that by using this, you are benefiting people in Kenya, in Oman, in Mexico, to keep doing what protects and reinforces our world to run well. And that is quite important. I come from Africa. Handouts, damage to the world. Africa is feeling the damage from the world very strongly, but they're not causing it. However, they do need to be guided in good practices and being given the support to practice those things, because it's not always the cheapest way. Solar, not always the cheapest way. For instance, one of the things I was reading, Palmarosa, which is our range for oily skins. So if your rosacea is related to an oily skin, the Palmarosa might work for you. And Palmarosa is actually a grass. So there's a guy who grows it. Once he's taken the oils out of the Palmarosa, you're left with the sort of dry, grassy husks. They compress that into little briquettes that they then use to run the thing that takes the oil out. And that's fabulous, that there's that cycle of renewal, of using up what you've got, not using electricity or gas to do it, but using your own products to create your own process. And I find that wonderful because I'm very environmentally friendly. That's why I tend not to use cotton wool. I use the little pads I made out of old towels and old pillowcases. And they've lasted me for years and they're still going strong. So I hope I've inspired you. I hope that you've seen some wonderful products. I hope your skin feels great. I'd love to hear from you tomorrow morning to tell me how you're doing and how your skin feels, because I find the effect of a good Neal's Yard spa evening extends into the next day. So please let me know what you are interested in. Neal's Yard works on the party plan. We are all independent people. We get a percentage of what we sell, 25% of what we sell. I will be sending you a link if there's anything you'd like to buy, and you can buy it through that link, please. If you have a party yourself and you want to introduce this to people, we can set this up in this way. You then get a gift, and I did send a gift in advance and came with a box to the person who went through all the effort of coordinating, and I know she went to a lot of effort to find me. If people in the party buy over £150, the host starts getting some free shopping and some free money and some half price shopping. And the more people buy, the more the hostess gets. So I hope you're happy. Please go to my online brochure. It'll take you then to my site. You've got me on WhatsApp, and I look forward to hearing from you tomorrow. Have a fab day. Bye-bye.